talking about? Oh, the plate is like this big. What's up, y'all?
Wow, you just went right for the y'all.
Yeah, it's Texas.
Yeah, you did. I thought it was going to be like a softball sweeties kind of day or softball honeys maybe.
Oh, I like that.
Softball honeys.
Maybe
that's a good
next
one.
time.
You're all welcome.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
Well, it's great to have you back. Just so you know, we had a plus show last week.
I highly doubt it.
Yeah, it was A
It
was-
plus.
it was
People were writing in like,
No.
"Oh my god,
No, they
best show
weren't.
ever."
No, they weren't. They were writing in. They're like,
They said we didn't miss
where's
Sarah
the heart
at
and
all.
soul of the where's the deal of here's the deal. That's what they were writing in.
I don't think they said that.
think that's exactly what they
I
said.
don't. They were like, "This
I think
is the deal.
I think they
This
said the
is
show was a
greatest
little
deal."
bit bland. The show needs a little bit of salt. That's what I think they said. I think that's exactly what they said.
They like the pepper.
Get out of here.
Am I right? Or am I right?
No, you're not.
Yeah.
We got a fun one today.
Yeah.
Couple different things we're going to talk about.
Well, yeah, let's talk about Pro Ball.
Yeah.
Athletes Unlimited wraps up their first inaugural season. Tons of people behind this.
What did you think? What were your thoughts on the league format?
To be perfectly honest, I really enjoyed watching the games. I thought it was very competitive. Obviously, a hitter's game. We saw people really shine, like my old comrade, Kat Osterman, who we'll talk about in a little bit. But Jesse Warren, Savannah Jakewish, Victoria Hayward, so many players with a real opportunity to shine, and it was great to see them on multiple platforms. I think the whole package that Athletes Unlimited put together was top notch in terms of like their graphics package, their video package, how the girls were presented. I thought it was all beautifully done, and I enjoyed watching it.
So the format was very different from regular softball games.
Mm-hmm.
What couple changes with the format were your favorites?
I think, people might disagree with me on this, but
I mean, that happens a lot.
I love that. Yes, softball is a team sport, but the emphasis on these players performing is like right there for you to see. Like Kat finished at the top of the league because she got the wins, she got the out, she got the strikeouts. Very deserving. So you really see the top players shine, but then also you see the top offensive players shine. And I think what's really unique is the players have the power to choose who's on their team because it changes week to week.
Mm-hmm.
Because the top 4 players from every week are named captain, and they begin to strategize on the team that they're trying to put together.
So you like that?
I do.
You like that the team is changing every week.
What do you guys think?
I loved it. It was like one of those things, especially when it came to like the draft. Every week they would have a draft, and it was just really fun to see the team captains get really excited if they got the player that they were hoping to get, or once again them being able to like create the strategy around the teams that they're trying to create. But I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun watching the games. Made my weekends really enjoyable. So yeah, I'm excited for the second season.
I think baseball and softball fans love stats. And I think this is like a stat nerd's dream.
Yeah.
Right? It takes it to another level. Like you're paying attention to every little stat for every position. And you're tracking different stats than you regularly than the regular stat nerds track.
Yeah, I do think there is like one loophole in the point scoring system.
Let's hear it.
Is that you can have relatively low individual stats, but if you continue to be on a winning team, it's going to automatically push you up to the top 15, top 20 players in the league, and you can have pretty much like a low batting average, and
Maybe that's a strategy. Maybe
that's
a strategy.
That's a loophole.
Maybe it's a strategy for some.
It doesn't diminish the value that player has on that team. I'm just saying it's a bit of a loophole if you can continue to be on a winning team.
Okay. All right. Are you surprised by how it finished out?
No, Kat is the best in the world, and I think everybody got a chance to see that. She is one of the best to ever pick up a softball. And I think what impressed me so much was there was a game that she lost. It was the first game that she lost. She got a couple dingers hit off of her, and she would probably say it wasn't the best game that she played. But the next game, she was lethal. 13 Ks the following game, like she was out for blood. And the adjustment between the pitch calling between her and Gwen Savekis was masterful. And it just shows you how incredibly difficult she is to hit when she's mixing the drop, backdoor curve, and the rise. She's a legend.
You mentioned Gwen Savekis. Both Kat and Gwen Savekis were in the top 5. Kat was number 1. Gwen Savekis was number 5. Why don't you run us down the top 10, just so everybody at home kind of knows who the top 10 were, and let me know if there are any surprises in there for you, good or bad.
Well, I'm just going to read off of your screen because I don't have it in front of me.
Well, yeah, you can do that.
We've got Kat number 1. She was like so far ahead. She didn't even have to pitch the last game. Like
Really?
that's how far ahead she was.
That's wild.
Jessie Warren, number 2, Victoria Hayward, 3, number 4, Erica Piancastelli, 5, Gwen Savekis, 6, Morgan Zirkle, 7, Haley McClenny, 8, Tori Vidalis, 9, Savannah Jakewish, and 10, Haley Wagner. I mean,
Any surprises?
I think a lot of people who didn't know Erica Piancastelli know who she is. She's got a big league swing. She could hit off of anybody, but she did kind of look bad against Jay Burrows the last game. But when she's on time, like, see you later. She hits moonshots. And also, to me, it solidifies how good Jessie Warren and Savannah Jakewish are. I don't know a better third baseman in the country than Jessica Warren.
You've said that. You've gone on record saying that multiple times. This is not
And
the
I
first
will
time
say
you
it
said
again.
And
She
it
is the
shows.
best
It
third
shows.
baseman maybe in the world right now.
Only 2 infielders on the top 10. Jessica Warren was number 2. And then Tori Vidalis was the other infielder, number 8. But yeah, I think this proves your point, right?
And it's just unfortunate that, like, we're not going to see her in a USA uniform. And maybe another country will pick her up. Who knows between now and the 2021 Olympics. But I will tell you right now, she's got glue-like qualities in her personality. She is just one of the most tenacious hitters that you will find in the game. And she's just freaking lights out at third. Lights out.
A little bit of a snub. A little bit of a snub for
Oh,
Team USA.
100%. Like, she deserves a shot.
Yep.
I'm just saying, like, you don't have to teach her how to play. She doesn't have to learn to play third base. She knows it like the back of her hand. Like, she plays third base like a shortstop. It's just amazing and a joy to watch. I love seeing the dynamic between Gwen Savekis and Kat. Obviously, Gwen is another person with glue-like qualities about her, and I know this because I know Kat. That relationship that she has with the catcher is so impactful. It is a difference between her really becoming her own and reaching her full potential. I think you need that part in the battery, and Gwen was just so great, and it's cool to see her have fun again in the sport.
Speaking of the battery, there are 3 catchers in the top 10, 2 pitchers in the top 10. That's half of the top 10. Do you think the scoring favors the battery a little bit, or do you think this is actually how it plays out?
I think, look, you got to give credit to Piancastelli and Savekis. And Jakewish is a questionable label as a catcher because I feel like she played primarily third base. And that's why I say, like, Savannah Jaquish is a Swiss Army knife of softball.
Yep.
You could literally put her anywhere. She can catch. She can play third. I bet she can play short. She can play outfield. She has a hose, and she rakes.
She might not be able to pitch. That one, the jury's out on
I
that
wouldn't even, yeah.
But maybe.
Maybe. Let us know.
Hey, you never know.
Savannah, let us know. Give us some video of you pitching. We want to see it.
Yeah, I give credit to those catchers because, look, Bianca Selly rakes, and so can Gwen Zavekis. I mean, those are two big bats in the lineup, and Jake Wish as well. But you can tell that when you look at the players on this list, like the power numbers are key. And when you look at like Morgan Zirkle is the exception, obviously, top percentile type speed.
Yep.
She's just able to do so much on offense. So she's able to kind of rack up those points because she's getting on base, she's stealing bases, and she's on winning teams.
Right.
Because I think once we saw like those initial games play out, Zirkle and I'm blanking on her name right now, but we began to see some of the speedsters get taken off the board quickly because they're so valuable to scoring runs. Yeah. So.
Okay. That was a thorough breakdown of the top 10.
Yeah.
You know,
You're welcome.
who are you looking forward to seeing next year?
Well, look, I need you guys to chime in on this, but
Allie, who are you looking forward to seeing in 2021?
Ooh, a lot of people. My goodness. I think Bubba would be really fun to watch. Bubba Nichols, possible. I think Jesse Harper. Yeah, those are like some of the top twos for me. But what about you, Sarah?
Baby Goat.
no brainer.
I am a Baby Goat fan. That's probably the one that I'm most excited to see. I mean, I'm not gonna rattle a list off. I'll save that for Ches.
Look, I think anybody watching and listening, I really think Danielle Laurie would have been perfect for this. Just because she's a two-way player, she's a hell of a competitor, and
She's a character.
She's one of my favorite people to listen to. Call a game. She's just no nonsense, like straight to the point, and just really nice to listen to as a softball fan. So I like that. Another two-way player that I think would kill it is Miranda Elish.
Yep.
She's kind of from that area, so I think we can see kind of a good draw in terms of fans.
It'd be fun to see Abbott and Osterman.
Woo-wee.
Right. Like,
That'd be
Yeah.
so fun.
like going up, let's just pretend Abbott had done the 2020 season. Who would have ended up on top?
That's a good question. I mean,
I know it's hard for you to be impartial here, but
it would be neck and neck, to be honest with you. Like we saw the 2020 season. It was a hitter season.
Yep.
You can't argue about that. And for the 2021 season, I absolutely want to see better pitching and to see kind of like more of a balance because that last game was an absolute blowout. I mean, I think it was like 18-3. I'd like to see it a little closer.
Yeah.
And I think if they're able to bring or attract better pitchers, could be exciting. Could be more evenly matched.
who's happy Cat came out of retirement, right?
I don't think the hitters were, but
Everybody except the hitters.
I think the
Wait,
fans were
speaking
for
of
sure.
adding more pitchers, what are your thoughts on Ali Carta? I feel like that'd be fun to watch as well.
Yeah, I think Ali Carter would be another phenomenal pickup. Just again, a two-way player, and we forget like Alicia Ocasio was up there, and it doesn't take much for other players to kind of leapfrog you and point total if things don't go your way. But she's another player that I can see having an understanding of how this league works. Might strategize differently going into 2021. She can absolutely be at the top of the leaderboard in 2021 in my mind.
And you talk about this being a power hitter's game here. Bailey Henthal
Woo-wee.
would fit the bill
Whoa.
pretty nicely
Kablooey.
on that one.
Yeah.
Kablooey.
That would
Is that where we're going?
that would be the sound.
Kablooey. Bailey Henthal. Kablooey! That's it. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything else to say, really.
Yeah. I mean, I know people absolutely want to see Sis Bates.
Yeah.
How do you not have Sis Bates? She's electric. And then when you think of like just the amazing plays that we saw over the course of the season, Sis just adds to that, not to mention her love for the game, her passion for the game. She's not done. She's not done playing. And I think we'll be able to see some of these players kind of achieve the height of their success through something like Athletes Unlimited. And that's exciting to watch. But yeah, I would like to see just a little bit deeper in the bullpen in terms of being able to spread that out. Because we saw that kind of separation, right? Like Kat, Haley Wagner were kind of separating themselves in the pitcher's pack. And I think we add a few more, could be exciting.
You get Danielle Laurie and Monica Abbott in there. That'll deepen it up real quick.
Right?
Okay.
And Dallas Escobedo. I forgot about Dallas Escobedo. If she feels like she has more gas in the tank, she's another tremendous pitcher to add into Athletes Unlimited. But the other kind of conflict that they might run into is the Japan League.
Yeah.
And I forget Carly Hoover's also playing in the JPL. So if it's going to depend on what they decide, but I know it's kind of hard to turn down the opportunity in Japan.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a really
Not
good
many of them get it. So
it's
kind of
it's lucrative. It's Japan.
yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad gig.
I don't think so.
Not a bad gig.
Just bring your friend along.
Right?
Yeah. Well, in sadder news,
Yes. We're taking a pivot into
I
the
know,
bad
I'm sorry,
news here.
but like you guys need to know, LaSalle University recently announced that they're cutting 7 sports, and softball is one of them. Very, very sad. And if you've been on the site earlier this week, we recently published a story on UC Riverside, and they've been presented 4 different options in terms of reducing their budget, and one of them is eliminating athletics completely, which would be devastating to over 300 student athletes, displacing them. And then you're talking about recruits who were potentially maybe already signed their letter of intent, having to look elsewhere. So it's catastrophic what we might see. And we've talked about it on this show before, but I feel like we're kind of at the beginning of universities having to take a hard look at their budgets.
Yeah, we've talked about this. We're going to see more and more programs make these decisions, and we're going to be announcing more and more programs that are cutting sports, cutting softball. LaSalle, like you said, it's seven total programs, about 130 players. Both baseball and softball are in that mix. But the most drastic proposal is definitely UC Riverside, just eliminating athletics altogether. And then, I think the solution was a more expanded intramural program.
Yeah.
Is what that option is. But that's one of 4 options that they're looking at. Have we gotten any timetable on that decision from them?
No, I feel like the chancellor will be making a announcement soon on what they decide. And look, this is just that's probably the most drastic option. And right now, what you can do is sign the petition going around to keep UCR athletics. And that's like a program that I hold dear to my heart. That was my last Division One job. So I was able to work with a lot of athletes that I still keep in contact with, athletes I've recruited, athletes that I've worked with, really strong community there. So, do what you can to help keep the future of athletics at UCR alive. And we already know this. If you're from Southern California, the athletes coming from the Riverside area, the talent pool there is unbelievable. It would be a travesty to lose it. So I encourage you to sign the petition, potentially donate, contact the coaches, see how you can get involved in helping. Anything that you can do, sharing the social posts, a little bit goes a long way. And they need our help. This is our family too.
Yeah, they mentioned their core budget is about $575 million, and just to give everybody a understanding of what the hole is that they're in for this upcoming year, it's down about 8%. So their budget's down $46 million, which is substantial. So petitions, donations, it's an important piece of that university and that region in California. So nobody wants to see it. Nobody wants to see any athletic programs go down, but nobody wants to see a whole program go down either. So
be tragic.
It would indeed.
All right, what's next on Flow? We've got the 2022 rankings coming up next week. We've got the 2021 rankings to follow. And then a new show that I really encourage you to check out. It's called Legends of the Game with Chris Caldwell. The storytelling is amazing. She's done 3 episodes so far, one with Joan Joyce, Margie Wright, and the latest with Dot Richardson. The stories are mind-blowing, and just to give you a taste of kind of the stories that you'll learn about is with Margie Wright. She was absolutely pivotal in softball stadiums being built across the country. If we don't have Margie Wright, we don't have stadiums like we do right now. Joan Joyce, head coach at FAU, struck out both Hank Aaron and Ted Williams. She was a professional in multiple sports, just simply amazing. Dot Richardson, her story is just mind-blowing. She began playing baseball because she was like playing catch with her brother and had to disguise herself as a boy to be able to play. Like, these are the stories that you've never heard, and Chris does a great job tapping into these stories, and we're very excited to share those episodes with you. And they're all free because we really believe like sharing the history within our sport is so important to the fabric of our culture and of our history.
I mean, there you have it.
That's
Rankings and some legends of the game. That is
discovered, when I was 10 years of age, being asked to play baseball. When they saw me pitch to my big brother outside of the field before his game to break in his new catcher's mitt.
Right.
And the coach said, "Wow, what a great arm. We'd love for you to play on our little league softball team, baseball team." And he said, "Well, we'll have to cut your hair short and give you a boy's name. We'll have to call you Bob." I literally would have had to disguise myself as a boy in order to play little league baseball. A sport I loved, a sport I was pretty decent at, right?
Right.
The boys would pick me up first in games, pick me first for pickup games after school, but girls were not allowed to play. So I can tell you that I know, Chris, without a doubt, that God has a sense of humor. Because years later, I married a Bob, right?
I was going to mention that.
But that was a moment because God taught me so much at that particular moment of my life. Because how bad I wanted it, it didn't feel right.
Right.
So I said, "Sir, thank you, but no thank you. If I have to hide who I am, I just don't feel it's right." So I thanked him and I moved on. And 30 minutes later, playing baseball catch with a friend of mine, another coach saw me, a softball coach, told me to take a few ground balls and said, "How would you like to play on my fast pitch softball team?" And And I just fell in love from that moment on
A
with
legend
the
was
game and
created.
felt like I belonged with the Union Park Jets. And, another year later, I was the back row for the Rebels and got a chance to play in a game. And I guess coach liked what she saw. And so at 13, became the youngest girl ever to play women's majors. But I can tell you a secret. Margie Wright might have been 12. I don't know if you asked her that.
I didn't
might
ask her age, but she does have a similar story that you have.
You might have lied about her age. I think she told me you had to be 14 at the time.
Yeah,
That's
she
why
might
when
have.
I was 13, they dropped the rule. But I think she might have been 12, she said. So interesting.
I'll have to
But
call her.
on the books. But the big thing is this. These are my memories that I'm just going to flash through really fast. 13 years of age, playing against the legends of the games. You have mentioned a few of them. I saw the last wooden bat to be used in our sport. I saw the first white metal cleats ever to be worn.
Right.
At 17, I made my first USA softball team. You talk about a memory there. Being at the Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs and being named to that squad and winning a Pan American gold medal for the United States of America. I remember the first NCAA championship ever offered to women in sport. Happened to be blessed to be on UCLA's team to defeat Fresno State. There you go with Margie.
I was going to say, you have a lot with Margie.
Right there. To win the first ever to open the doors for women to be recognized along with men through a sports organization in college was awesome. 5 world championships, 5 Pan American games. You mentioned, the 2 Olympic gold medals and getting a great education, becoming a doctor, a medical doctor, an orthopedic surgeon. The sport has opened a lot of doors, traveling the world, Chris. I mean, Japan twice, China, Taiwan, New Zealand, Australia 4 times, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, Holland, England, Canada, Argentina, playing the sport I love and sport that has, just become such a major part of my life. And when a specific moment you have to say without a doubt is winning the first ever Olympic gold medal for our country at the first Olympics to host us as a sport of softball. And in the biggest athletic moment of my life after we had received that Olympic gold medal and seeing my teammates wearing the gold around their neck as well, to imagine, all of us turning and seeing the American flag being raised above all others in right field, above those bleachers. Remember how high they were, right?
Yes, they were.
So it took a while for the flag to get there, and all of a sudden you see it raised up and you hear the national anthem, and I tell you, I bawled my eyes out.
Yes, you did.
And Chris, it wasn't because of what I had done, living a dream I'd had as a 7-year-old girl after seeing the Olympics for the first time, 27 years later, for that to become the reality, the dream to become a reality. But in the biggest athletic moment of my life, I have to tell you, I was overwhelmed because I just felt so small.
Really?
I was just so humbled because I realized we were the 15 chosen to represent all who ever dreamt of it and who were deserving of being Olympians. And you have interviewed some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Joan Joyce is an Olympian. Margie Wright. I can go on and on, but they were never given the opportunity. So in your broadcast today, God has given each of you amazing gifts and opportunities. And I pray that you seek him and know that your gifts are meant to be shared, and trust him, because here I was as a girl, not able to play unless I disguised myself as a boy,
Right.
to where all of a sudden national championships at the women's major level, to NCAA World Series championship, to Pan American World Championship gold, to 2 Olympic gold medals. I mean, it's just amazing. We had opened the door for so many, and that's what was so overwhelming, to see the past and the future collide in that Olympic moment.